Well, I've got a few different things going on. One of them is a 865 big bore. I just got done honing it, so I need to do ring gaps, and then I'll degrease this thing and be done with it. The other thing I've been working on, I showed a little bit of progress on this in one other video, I think the last one maybe, but this is kind of officially done. As far as getting ready to assemble it. At this point, I'm just going to leave it, and I'll do a video of me assembling this engine probably, just because it's going to look really cool on film. I did this myself. I will never do it again. It was enjoyable, I guess, in a way, but definitely not my wheelhouse. I did it because a friend asked me to, and so it takes way too long, but it does look really cool when it's done. I'm just trying to move around a lot so you guys can really see every angle, but yeah, it was a lot. I shaped, if you get one of these covers, you'll notice that they never ever match up. They hang off like a 1/4 inch, so shaped all this, case matched everywhere, like across here, you know, along the front, everywhere got matched up. Covers did, everything. I knocked off this just like I did on Shop Rod's engine. I knocked that off, knocked the ear off down there, but yeah, the whole thing got done. It was a lot of work, a lot of hours, but it turned out really cool. So like I said, I'll do a video of me assembling this just because it's going to look really cool. A lot of it's by hand, you know, you can't use a machine for a lot of it. You can still see some, like if you look, I'm sure you might notice some of the swirling along here. I'm going to take care of that after I've assembled it because I'm about to touch it so much and it's going to get banged up a little bit during assembly, but I'll go back and fix whatever I do. So, but we'll talk about what I'm actually doing this week. This is what we're actually going to work on, B50 MX top end. So it should be a fun, quick one. I don't know anything about this. I just know that they don't want it blasted. So whatever cleanliness it gets to from me prepping it for my work. But it should be an easy, quick one. Bore the cylinder and do valve guides and new valves. So I will get after that. I need to pull these two apart. The only thing that's holding it is these two studs. So if we just... Perfect. Okay. I didn't want to pry it. And surprise, we got some rings that I don't care about. I'm going to get this kind of set aside. I'll measure it before we do any cleaning. Just that way I can figure out what piston I'm going to need. But obviously there isn't any major damage, which is the first thing we need to care about. But nice and thick liner on these, but we want to look at the head, which also looks pretty good. I don't know how well you guys can see it, but if I can get the color right, there's a decent shadow along here, which means the face of the valve is, you know, proud of the combustion chamber, so the seats aren't pocketed. That's a really good sign. I'm going to keep track of all these in case they are getting reused. Sometimes with patina top ends, people will just reuse their hardware, and there's nothing wrong with these. They are not damaged, they're just dirty. Did I post that teardown? I think I did a B50 teardown, the one that had the Gorilla Glue on it. I really like B50s. They're cool. 500 singles that are meant to really run hard are always really neat, but I'm sure that paper gasket's been on there for a long time. Okay. I'm going to take a hammer to this and do some tapping on it. It's a lot of studs to try and fight, plus I think that gasket's probably been on there for a while, so I'm going to do a little bit of off-camera work and then I'll be right back. Okay, so what I ended up doing was I put these nuts back on, and then I ran a punch through the head bolt, or the head stud, and then I hit the rocker spindle nicely. So nothing too crazy. It was gentle, I promise. But now, you know, with all these studs and everything, I don't like prying on the surface. You could, if you're really gentle, you know, go around and sit there and kind of work your way up with it. You just got to be really careful. I really never recommend that unless you're being extra cautious. The other thing I've used is I've got these snap, or I don't know, yeah, I guess it is a snap ring, but I got these when I did a transfer case once, but they're really nice. They got pretty good surface area. There is some dimpling on it, so you do have to be careful, but it's a good wide flat area. Doesn't seem to ever cause any issue. I never notice after I've touched it, but I'll use those sometimes to kind of spread things apart. Nothing too crazy. Not bad. I'm sure you guys have seen me use these quite a few times. Oh man, don't make me look like a wuss. Honestly, it's kind of a testament to the tool on how well it grips without slipping, but gotta get a little creative with holding these sometimes. Oh, come on, don't do this to me. Ah, let's see, and then that one's just gonna come out easy. The two with the dowel, the hollow dowels, they fought me pretty good, but all the other ones in regular aluminum came out, but this one's being stubborn. I've said this before, but if you ever want to make yourself look foolish, just put a camera on what you're doing and it'll immediately humble you or make a fool of you. I try not to do this just because I don't like putting stress on the threads, but if this is how you have to do it at home, then it's how you have to do it. Not a big deal. There she goes, finally. Nice and easy. Ugh. That's so annoying. I hate the way solvent and oil mixed together smells. Yeah, doesn't look great. Come on. These BSA bottom seats and guides are always kind of stuck together, it feels like, but not bad. A little bit of, I don't know if you can see how gross that face is, but there's just a bad spot right there. Overall, not too bad. No galling. I mean, there's some wear on it, but pretty fat face on that. Geez, look at that. We'll actually measure it, but I always like to just kind of see. Yeah. Maybe you guys can hear it. Not that bad, but not great. It could definitely use some updating. Okay, so this you can actually see how bad it is, maybe. This camera does not do well close up. This side's bad. This side's really bad. You can probably actually see that. Maybe not. that has been burning oil. That side's pretty worn out, so good deal. That makes me feel a little better. Like I said, the one definitely could use some updating, but it wasn't horrible. That side's bad. We'll actually measure it, and well, it looks slightly better. I'm sure some of you noticed somebody did a half-assed little polish job on this thing at some point. It doesn't look very good because, you know, it just ends abruptly. So I don't know. People do weird shit. The edges have been done too, and then the face of that. But the sneaky cleanup job has been done as far as like interior's clean. But I left the outside alone. Haven't done anything yet with the cylinder still. That's just waiting. I want to get these guides out. So I'm going to go ahead and beat these guides out. I know I want to replace them. We talked about, I was going to measure them. They're worn, we know that. So I'm going to get them out, and then I'll get that hole cleaned up again. You get as much as you can, and then when you remove the guide, you get the rest. These are pretty recessed on B50 heads, but we'll still clean up and make sure we have a smooth bore for the install of the new guides. Guides are out. They're both standard. I kind of guessed that they would be, but they're tight in the head too, which is good. That means I get to just put standards back in. The holes look really good, no scoring. You're not going to be able to see it. Yeah, so the head is ready for that. This cleaned up okay. You can see I took my handy dandy super scraper and try to chip away at it. These aren't fly cut very well. The head's kind of the same way, so I kept kind of gripping, which is weird. Normally I don't have that issue. The standard for these is 3.307, so we're going to give this a measure at 3 points and find out, and probably, you know, both directions to see how worn out it is. So let's set up the dial bore gauge. Okay, so I've got the mic set up to standard, and I've got that set up into the indicator here. So we'll do sideways first. Okay. Not too bad. A couple thousandths oversized. Alright, there we go. That's where the rear wear is at. So right there where like your ring land is, it's 5 thousandths oversized. And what is that, about 3 there? Not too bad, but yeah, right there at the top, it's definitely worn. And so we will be shooting for 20. So we'll get a 20 over piston, and we'll bore that to match. Okay, like I said, we're gonna go with a 20. I got this JP. It's a bit on the heavy side, but they're good pistons. So I got it measured up, and I'm gonna shoot. I'm doing 4 thousandths clearance on this. I think the book says much tighter. I don't like doing that. 4 is going to be much better for this. So with this boring bar, I can be way more accurate with my numbers. So I usually like to have at least 1 thousandths to hone out, just because you want the hone to be nice and deep. And so, you know, 1.5 is preferable. I don't want to go too much, because, you know, if you do too much honing, it will get out of round and, you know, tapered and all that kind of stuff. So we've got our number that we're shooting for. I'm going to get it set up, and then I'm going to do a first pass, and so I will show that. Okay, so that was a test pass. You could hear it just faintly touching. I like to do that just because I'm paranoid about crashing. I know I'm good. I'm going to go ahead and jump probably about 5 thousandths for that first cut, and then we'll go crazy with the next one. Okay, so I just got done with the last pass. I'm going to show you. Kind of got to get it in here all funky. If I can get it to focus, that is a 0.5 thousandths away from where I was shooting, so not bad. A lot of factors can kind of dictate whether or not you nail it. But 0.5 thousandths is fine. I can take that out. To be honest, like once you start honing, the finish already wants to be knocked down, you know, like the cut finish or whatever. But one last thing I like to do is there's no lead-in left. There wasn't really one to begin with, but there's absolutely no lead-in left here. And so what I want to do is I've modified a carbide to chamfer the top edge of that, and so I'm going to swap out. This usually sounds horrible, so I don't even know if I'm going to leave this in, but I'm going to cut. So I hand feed it down just really slowly. Need some better lighting on Even with earmuffs on, that is just a horrible sound. I had to set it down so I could actually get some light on it, but hopefully you can see the contrast there. I can't get close enough to, it'll get out of focus, but that helps so much with installing rings, so I like to add that. I don't know if you can see that, but cylinder is done being honed. I gapped the rings, and I need to just clean up the edges and install them. I honed the guides with the hone all, and so we will jump over here and talk about the head. Not very good at showing every step, but I got the guides in, and then I honed them. The next step is going to be cutting these seats, and so we're going to bolt it down to the Goodson table here. Alright, that should be tight enough. I like to use these nylon pucks when I can, just because it's less aggressive, but hold on. So the valves I got are just NOS, so they do have a little bit of shelf wear. You can kind of see some discoloration along there, but not a big deal. They're straight, they're good, they're fine. But like I was saying, what I like to do is see where we're at right now. If I could just keep the tools I need around. So what I like to do is I'll kind of just get an idea where we're at, because the seats aren't concentric to the valve, of course, the guide. So that kind of shows us where we're at as far as where we're living. Let's angle this. There, I think we can work together here. I'll probably have to move you here in a second, but I can at least talk about it. So this 45 is huge. I mean, it's from here to here. That's massive. Maybe I can give you some perspective, but that's how big the 45 is. And then the 45 on this valve is much smaller. And they do that just because at the factory, it's easy to just quickly hammer this 45 out and then just be done with it. So wherever this lands in here is fine, because you got all this room. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a 30 in up here in our black where we just traced, and I'm going to bring that 45 narrower, and then when we're done with the 45 and the 30, I'll take a 60 and come up, if I can afford to even. A lot of times there's not much to be taken out, but 60 will come up from here and narrow up the bottom side, and then the 30 will come down, and that'll narrow up from the top. But the goal is just to have a nice, clean, narrow 45 all the way around. I like Sharpie. You can use like impression blue or whatever. You could use Dykem, but Sharpies work just the same. I use a lot of it, so you know, it's also cool to just go ahead and throw down a little bit of ink, so when I start cutting, I can kind of tell where I'm removing and not. But I'm gonna see where I can put you guys. It's like out of my way. I'm gonna see if I can show you. I don't know if it's gonna translate well, but right now I'm gonna move you out of the way because it's annoying. But right now I'm cutting all along here nicely. I'm just starting to touch like top and bottom of this, and just top. I'm not quite hitting over here yet, but just faintly, and then pretty good cut, and then just faintly. So we're definitely favoring this side ever so slightly. So I'm gonna get in and get this trued out, and then I'll show you again like once the 45 is fully dressed. But it's not too far off. I mean, I've been, knock on wood, I've really got my routine down on installing guides, and I really am not that far off anymore. I used to kind of fight quite a bit of material because my guides wouldn't be as straight as they should have been. But in the past couple of years, I've really got it figured out, and I'm very, very happy with them now. I've been happy with them for quite a while, honestly, but I'm going to get after this and then we'll come back. Okay, I got a little bit carried away and just went ahead and finished this seat. I'm going to try and move it around to where you can see there's a nice skinny face from where I just lapped it. And the same with the... there's no way. Man, I'm going to have to get the macro lens for this so I can actually zoom in on stuff. But either way, there is a very narrow face here on the valve that I've lapped. And then there's a very nice landing, very even, you know, contact all the way around. But anyway, that's the gist of things. Like I said, it is deshrouded, 30 degrees, 45 degrees, 60 degrees. So it's just each one kind of allowing the exhaust gases to now come in, and instead of like tumbling and crashing over that 45 that was just lazily put in there, it's now going to have nice transitions to flow through into the chamber here. So, and then the same thing is going to go over here when we do the exhaust valve. It's going to have that same kind of nice, you know, flow as it goes in. It's going to transition and then go across the 30, the 45, and the 60 and flow out instead of just swirling and tumbling and crashing over that. So it's, you know, little details, little minute stuff like that. But this is a really nice head. And so like even my deshrouding here is like almost not that visible. And so I didn't have to remove a lot of material, but it's better than, you know, some people just cut that 30 right in. Well, I mean, some people don't even use 30, but you know, if it's just that 30 right in here, it's going to have this hard edge where then that valve will start to pocket. And so this is allowing it all just to kind of blend evenly. But that's enough talk on that. I'm going to jump over and do this exhaust side, and then once it's cut and everything looks good, I'll lap it, and that'll be done. I still need to clean up the cylinder over there and get the rings on the piston, and then I'll put all the studs back in this head and I'll be done. So hopefully it's kind of an easy little video. I'll probably show a few more steps here as I finish it up, but you know, that's it. So let's just get it finished. Okay, well, I just got done wiping down this cylinder with oil. It is all clean and ready to be run. I got the studs back in it. I wiped it down enough. I mean, like I said, this is a patina build. I'm not really supposed to do any blasting or anything major on it, so it's still got a little bit of grime here and there, but all the important parts are clean. Surfaces are clean, galleys are clean, all that kind of stuff. Head is also assembled. You know, studs are all back in it. I did put new, I keep all these dowels, those hollow dowels on hand. I threw new ones of those because I destroyed the old ones. But the head looks good. The inside looks really nice. That's what is important here. Again, everything's flushed and cleaned out, so it may not look the nicest, but somebody obviously had done some polishing on this. I hate Yes, but look how lazy this is too. It just swipes across and it's just half-ass stuff. So I don't really like that. But new springs, new valves, seats cut, lapped in, everything's good. So that head is ready to go. Doing this kind of blind here. Ooh. B50s are so cool. I'm not going to stick this on because they are not fun to put on and off. Too many studs. So that will live separately. I cleaned this, inspected it, new O-rings on the rocker shaft. So that's good to go. As you can see, I still need to put the rings on the piston over there. But yeah, overall, this is a finished top end.